What?
The in- oh well, we're
What?
live. I forgot to do the the what is it called? Our
The
intro.
intro?
Let's do it. Hold on.
Okay.
Yay! I did it. It's our hi guys. It's our first time going live with Laura, just us two, and uh, I'm nervous. Nervous.
Well, you've been wanting to do this since last week,
Yes.
and it
No,
just
the beginning of the week. Yes, we just watched Turning Red the beginning of the week.
Sunday,
I mean,
Monday.
on we watched it on
I watched it the
I
day it
think
came out.
Sunday. Sunday. No, Saturday. Saturday. We watched it on Saturday. I think it
Hmm.
was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. We watched it on Saturday. And I were like, we have to do this. We really have to do this. Because we've been trying to do. Oh,
Encanto.
yeah. Romy, did you hear that? Romy scared me. I was like, what was that? And not right now, Romy. Not right now. Because I got this from the ultrasound. I got this little plush, and they put the sound of the heartbeat of Mariah, and he loves that thing. Uh, but so yeah, watched it on Saturday, and I was like, oh my, because I know you watch it first, and you're like, you guys have to watch it, and we watched it, and we were like, oh my god, this was so good. Like we loved it. Even like Romy and Sam, like they loved the movie, so we were like, we really have to do this. Um,
But more so
and
after you said that there was so much.
hate, so much hate on it, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, I could see why, obviously, and it but at the same time, like I see both as being equal. Like,
Hmm.
the amount of people, how much they liked it and how much they hate it. They think it's super wrong, especially coming from some men.
Hmm.
But I mean, and then some women too that they think it it's not okay for some kids, that it's too early for them to learn about, because I mean they kind of suggest like the
Puberty.
period,
Yeah,
and
puberty.
yeah, stuff which I mean, I think some girls are different. Some girls they hit it early, like, and
Mhm.
some don't. Like my niece, she's in second, third grade, and she's already started. Like, so it's just
That's so.
it's
Yeah, that sounds like
yeah.
Britt did early too. What was around the time you got
For
puberty?
me, for me was 13. It was 13, around 12, 13. Um, and it's like that. I feel like that's why I kind of like identify so much with this movie. It was like it, it it was like between the relationship with the mom, and the girl going through all that, and you just identify. For me, identify with both, everything. Um, I don't know. What do you? I'm talking so much.
No,
You.
it's okay. Uh, so I was in seventh grade,
Mm-hmm.
and all my friends. I remember I was the last one of my friends to, and
To
it
hit.
was we. I thought like maybe I'll bypass it. Maybe I won't get it.
No, Jen.
and
No.
then puberty struck, and I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
this movie isn't. So it's a coming of age,
Mm-hmm.
and I think what some people are missing too. It's a perspective, and
Mm-hmm.
like we were talking before the show about how some people are like, oh, I can't relate to it. And it's like, okay, but there's Bugs movie, there's Cars movie, and you're able to relate to that. And it's like easier. But I guess when you see a female who isn't either a person that you know personally,
Mm-hmm.
or even from perspective of, so like when you're a kid, it's hard for you to perceive yourself as how other people see it, right? Like I'm perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Why is everyone getting upset? Dude, I had ADD. So I'm like looking back on how I was, I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly how I was. But in that moment you're like,
Yeah.
you don't see it because you just
Mm-hmm.
perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. um yeah, it's a whole, and then another thing I feel that it makes them feel uncomfortable, like talking about periods, like, because not, you know I just watched the, I'm always talking about Bailey's series, and that she talks about like uh at periods and tampons and pants and all that stuff. And then a lot of people, now, we grew up thinking that it's like it's gross and it's
We've
you shouldn't talk
always,
about it.
we've
Yeah,
like
like
that's always,
it's been,
right?
yeah, it's like a shame, you should be ashamed of that. Like,
You
and
hide it. They make it so you
yeah,
can hide it now because it's like, oh,
exactly.
can't.
And then a lot of people, they don't say menstruation, or they don't say periods. They me and my cousins, we used to had a code word for it, so because we were embarrassed. And
What was
hey,
it?
so
What was
we're
the code
gonna
word?
be spoilers, okay?
Oh yeah.
Spoilers. I
What was
put
the
it in
code
the
word?
title. So yeah,
What was the code
we
word?
used to call it comadre. It's in Spanish, which is, I don't know, like, I don't know what you call it in English, because comadre means when, like, if you're the godparent of my kid, like, I call you comadre. Like, I don't know. I don't
Hmm.
know, like a co-parent, I guess, kind of, I don't know. But that's what we will call it. And we will have and then it just, like, okay, great, cool. And like, I think it's just, society made it to make you feel ashamed about it or something. Then now a lot of people, they think it's just like, ugh. But I feel like they don't push it so much in the movie.
Well, they had that one scene. Oh, I guess should we?
Yeah, we
Uh,
should start with the slides.
so
So let's start
you,
with, okay, turning red. You go with the first slide. Let me see.
nope. Hang on. So this is my first time doing slides. I can do it. I can do it.
You can do it, Jen.
Do it. How do I? Wait, give me one more second.
It's okay. It's our first
So you
time.
also feel like, oh, this is 2002. Remember?
Yes, different time. I feel like,
Window, share, entire screen, share, Chrome tab.
yeah,
Is this? Oh,
yeah,
it's Chrome tab. Okay.
yeah.
Um.
There it is. Yay. And you can hide it. I think there's a way that you can hide the rest.
Oh shoot! How did before when I was live with you?
I know. Before we
It
went
was
live,
working. Full screen
I
layout?
think
Nope,
no,
that's not.
not that one.
Um. Hmm. So this is fun. Okay, so real quick. So why don't you
Let
talk
me
about
see.
how
There it
2002?
is.
Oh, you did it. You did
Okay,
it.
so I'm able to. Oh, I'm able to control it too. Oh,
Okay.
cool.
How'd
Okay,
you make it
so
pop up like that?
I just added in the bottom, like it will let me like add it or remove it.
Oh, see, I saw that remove, and I'm like, I don't want to remove it. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
So
so it's also 2002. So this is definitely, I think some people who are young now were like,
it's
what
completely
is this?
different.
And it's like, dude, this is for our bracket of like age range, right? Like if you're in your
Yeah.
30s and maybe early 40s, like it's it's that snippet. And back
Yeah.
then, like there were some cool parents who were friends with their kids, but that was a new thing,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like today's parents and like I keep thinking about like people we know that, have teenagers. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like they're cool parents. Like I view them as cool parents. I wish I had parents like that. But that's a
Mhm.
new.
Okay. So let me start with kind of like tell you guys what's a little bit about. It's
Okay.
a 13-year-old girl named Maylene turns into a giant red panda whenever she gets too excited or mad, or when she has different reactions, she turns into a red panda. Uh the it's a Rosaline Chang. She plays Maylene. They have the the friends too, which I love. It's I think Miriam, Abby, Priya, uh, and the mom is Ming, right? Sarah, and it's Sarah O, played by Sarah O.
Mhm.
Um, so this little this little girl, like, it just, so you see in the middle, like, that's Maylene, and then, well, when she turns into a panda, the mom, she's on the right. Wait, it's on my left, so it's right? My left.
Well, if you're, yeah.
Yeah. And the little bully boy, which it turns out to be funny. And then the friends in the corner, which I have something to say later about the friends. I think which one's my favorite. But uh, you know, the soonest I guess, like she turned like she's 13 and then she wakes up and out of nowhere she's in the bed she's in the bed and she freaks out because she looks at herself and she has turned into a panda. And the first thing that the mom thinks is like she got her period, like it's time, and she's freaking out. And the dad, I like how the dad kind of like he sneaks out.
Yeah.
And the mom is like, what do you need? Like she has tampon pads, water, what is it called, those all kinds of stuff that the mom was prepared, whenever that time. Oh, maybe because she has to go through it herself.
Mhm.
you know I like that. Like I remember my mom, like, I kept asking me, "Did you get it yet? Like, you haven't talked about it?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, not yet, mom, not yet, not yet." She was just waiting because I was 13, and I guess she got it. My mom, I think she got her period at around 9. She got it early, so my mom was expecting, I guess, me to get it early too.
Mhm.
I don't know, and so I knew that it was gonna come. I don't know, anytime.
Did you know what was going to happen?
Um,
Like, did they
no,
talk to you about that? Because that's one thing. Like, my friends got it
I don't
before I did,
remember.
but no one said. I'm like, oh, like, what's it like? And they're like, it's horrible, but they didn't elaborate. And then the movie
I don't
Carrie.
remember.
Did you watch Carrie?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh gosh. Yes. Poor girl.
To me, this almost felt like. Did you ever watch Teen Wolf? Remember the '80s
Yeah, the
movie?
movie. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Jane Fox.
Hmm.
It was very reminiscent for me, at least, of Teen
Hmm.
Wolf. Because he goes through puberty
Hmm.
in high school,
Yeah.
hits
Oh,
them
I
later.
I have read those two
Comparisons.
compare, yeah, that they compare like those two. They're like, well, you guys had Teen Wolf and we have this. That
Oh, it's free on YouTube right now.
Oh, really?
Teen Wolf,
Hmm.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, like, but no, I don't, I honestly don't remember. Like I don't remember um if I kind of knew what was coming or anything like that. Um but but yeah, but I mean it, it's what I mean, what is it that the parts that you liked, I guess, from the beginning,
Well,
to start with the
I,
beginning.
I told you guys when you watched it to at least get 15 to 20 minutes into it for it to, like, for you to keep, like, I feel like once you hit the 15, 20 minute mark, you
To
either
engage.
know if you're going to like it or if you're like, nah, right? Because it's very, there's this thing that happens. And
Mhm.
they do kind of, because remember, like, they were at a temple. That's another thing,
Mhm.
too, is that this is a lot of people's experience, but like
Mhm.
the typical American, I don't know
Spit
how to
it
say
out.
this.
Spit it out.
Like we both, like, my mom is Colombian, right?
Mhm.
Like, I grew up being tanner than most. I mean, right now I'm pale because it's
Yeah.
winter, but being tanner than most and just looking slightly different. And my mom coming to school and people like looking at her weird because she looked different. Like, she's not
Mhm.
she's not Caucasian, right?
Mhm.
Everyone that lived in my area was Caucasian. Like,
Mhm.
there's very few minorities. And then I would be all excited to have like an arepa, and
Mhm.
they'd be like, "Oh, what is?" I'm like, "Oh, it's like a corn cheese patty. It's really good." Like,
Mhm.
and the cheese is stinky, and I'm like, "I love arepas."
Yeah. Oh,
But
I didn't
it,
show this. I didn't show this. Sorry.
geek.
Yeah.
So, like, it. So you kind of see a day in the life in the first 15 minutes, right? And is it a little annoying?
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Well,
when
she is
you're
a
a kid,
13-year-old.
huh?
But
What?
she is a 13-year-old.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is kind of annoying. But like, I remember, like, it's almost as you watch this movie, you think back to like your childhood and you're like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
this seems
Yeah.
to line up.
Yeah.
And I liked it. And that's when I was like, you, I should need to watch this. I'm gonna keep
Yeah. The opening scene, they, like she's explaining the way she is, that I feel like I'm a grown up, and like I'm 13, I feel like I'm a grown up, and then at that age you kind of think like that too. My son, he's gonna be 12, and he thinks that he knows better than we do, and he's correcting us, and it's like, oh, you know better, okay, like, and we're always kind of like, I guess, kind of on him a little bit, not just like the mom, because the mom, like, obviously she's strict, and they have their ways, and you know um she helps, she says I have to honor my parents, but then you have to be careful because you can get lost,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that I was talking to Sam, my husband, that I was like, um that's kind of how I was. And as an adult still, like, I didn't realize, and my friends, like, they would, and they would tell me, like, you need to say no, because every time, like, when I
We
was young,
You
like,
can't tell no to our
it's
parents.
we're Hispanics, right? Like, we're not, it's different. And like, every I mean, when I was that age, like, my mom was a single parent, and I have younger siblings, so I had, as soon as I came home, I had to cook, even though I was 13, like, I had to cook, clean, do laundry, whatever I had to do around the house, because my mom was working all the time, so I had to do all that for her. And as and it was a habit now. So as I got older, like, I moved away and everything, and then I came back home. And when I met Sam, I was living at home, and even with my friends, every time that I had to go somewhere, I had to do something for my mom first. She always had to send me either to the store or try to do something for her every time. And I'm like, oh, wait, guys, I have to do this for my mom. Even though if I was going to go out of town, I had to do something for her first. And they're like all waiting for me, like, dude, seriously? Like, can she not do it? And I was like, well, I have to do it. I have to do it. I can't say no. And it's like, I didn't realize till I watched this. And I was like, shit, I was doing that as an adult too.
Well,
Like,
because
till
as
now is when I kind of actually, I got married, and I was able to break that, because it's like, sorry, my family comes first now.
I like Luke's,
Let me see. As a kid, we want to be adults. Yes. And like, and that's how she is, with her parents. Like, she wants to be that perfect girl, and her friends, are telling her, like, you can be the perfect kid every time. Like, you have to say no, and like, and she's like, no, you know she has to help her parents, and like, the mom does not like the friends, and it was exactly like that, because she thinks that there are the bad influence, and and everything, and that's kind of how it was. And it's like, little did she know that I was the one with the ideas.
oh, so you were the main character.
Yeah. I was like, oh
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay. But yeah, do you want to move to the next? You can move to the
Well,
next slide.
I was an accident. I thought because I wanted to see what the next slide was.
Oh, I don't.
This
Let
is
me see.
our testing, right? Our testing of
Yes.
doing it. So to us it was very relatable.
Mhm.
And when you talk to people who didn't like it, they just couldn't relate. And it's like, okay, if you can't relate to it, we watch so many movies that we're not Batman. Our parents, I mean, maybe our parents like didn't get shot in front of us and we now seek vengeance. Like, but you're able to turn that off and just enjoy a movie.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if you're gonna watch this, do that. Like
Mhm.
if you
Open mind. Go with an
yeah,
open
open
mind.
mind. And this is just someone's story that a lot of people do share. Maybe you don't, and
Yeah.
that's okay. Like,
And and this also, like, how you told it, Beanie, and you told us to watch the making of Turning Red, and it makes even more sense, that it's kind of slightly based on their childhood,
mhm,
especially like
all of them,
the
all of them.
yeah, the crushing on the boy you liked, and pretending you didn't like him, and you're like, ew, gross, uh the boy bands. That's what I was like, oh my god, for me it was like Backstreet Boys. I was like, I need to see them. I'm in love. I was in love with
See,
AJ, by the way.
and it's funny to see like our slight age difference because for me it was New Kids on the Block
Yeah,
was
the
mine because it was just like a slight there's slightly
yeah, because in the 2000s was Backstreet Boys and Sync, O Town, no, O Town, and it was all those. And I mean, obviously for me, like AJ, and then from NSYNC was Jay Z.
I mean and then even there's a part later where she's drawing and she's kind
Hmm.
of doing like a fanfic
Oh
and
yeah,
people are like, oh, what's that? And it's like, okay, maybe they didn't say the word fanfic and they should have because it was her
yeah.
just drawing her fanfic like her like
Hmm.
manga style. But
Yes.
dude, fan fiction is either you writing yourself in to be with a character or seeing two characters that you've read about or seen and putting them together. And it's like, or like, if you couldn't draw or write, dude, how many kids like imagined like, oh, I'm a
Oh,
superhero. I'm like with Spider-Man. We're like battling, like
and the mom,
this. It's a thing, huh?
yeah, the mom, the way when she sees that, the way she freaks and it goes in that part, and that's what they were saying, that
The
the
embarrassment.
mom, yeah, like she went, like how can she do that to the daughter? And yeah, that's the same thing that I'm like, the girl needed to say something, speak up and say, but then again, I'm like, I know I wouldn't have said anything. And I know my mom had embarrassed me before, not exactly like that, but in different ways. Our parents have embarrassed us,
Yeah.
and then you're so like freaking now that you don't know what to do. You're like, oh my God, like I can't believe you did
Well,
that, like
I have a story of like I'm a young adult.
yeah.
I'm in my 20s. I live in Miami Beach. And my phone didn't like I had 3 jobs. I was always working. I worked like 3 days I think straight trying to like just make money and I didn't call my mom. But I'm
Hmm.
22 I think at the time and she ended up calling the police to knock on my door and my roommate was like, "Hey, there's cops at the door for you." I'm like, "What did I do? I don't do anything. Like I just work." And then my friend I'm like, "Can I help you?" And they're like, "Call your mom." And I was like, I am so sorry. I know you guys are really busy. They're like, just call your mom. Like, my phone's been dead. I'm trying to get a new charger. Here, we'll give you our phone. Call your mom. And I was like, I was
How
mortified. I was
embarrassing.
like, I'm an adult. like,
Oh, another one that as an adult too, like my mom was actually living with me for a little bit and I came home and I wasn't yeah, like, and I had couple beers and she slapped me in front of my friends because I had drank.
wait,
I
how old were
wasn't
you?
drunk. I was 21. No, no, no. Sorry, I wasn't 21 yet. I
Oh,
wasn't 21, but I
oh,
was over 18.
okay.
And and I don't like beer. I hate the taste of beer. And I think I had like one or two, but that nasty taste of beer tasting your stays with you. And I was like, oh hell no. I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was just like, and my friends, well, we'll see you later. Bye.
Well, this is uncomfortable.
Yes. So it's like, because and still I don't cuss in front of my mom, like, like
Well,
I feel like that's disrespectful, like, and there's things that moms have done, and it's like I think people take it so specific to that part that it's like, yeah, like that it's like, oh, so like, oh my God, the mom's crazy. And then it's like, like I said, there's like some things that the kid will do, be like, oh hell no. That's as a parent, be like, girl. And
mhm.
as a kid, I'll be like, oh my God, the mom, like you see both sides, that it's kind of like, but then at the same time, what I really liked is when you see them sitting down watching like soap opera novelas, like
Mhm.
that's something that I did with my mom. Even though whatever we had, like that's something that we watch movies, the scary movies, or novelas or things like that. And then, like you can see they have like that little bond, even
Mhm.
though whatever they have, how she feels like, in she feels that she has to hide something from her mom. And now my son, I feel like he's always trying to hide something from me. Simple
Really?
things. Yeah. And it's like, dude, don't lie to me. I'm not gonna get mad. Like, I'm not that strict, but at the same time, there's boundaries and you need to respect them. And he texts his friend like, "Oh, have a good night." And I was like, "Were you on your phone?" Because Romy came to tell on him because I sent them to bed. And Romy's like, "Mom, Lennox is on the phone." And I was just like, "Lennox, are you on your phone?" Like, I didn't know. I was just asking. He's like, "No, no." I'm like, "Did you get on your phone at all?" Like, and he's like, "No, no." I was like, "Let me see." And I was like, "Dude, you send a text message. Like, you could just say, 'Yeah, text my friend good night.' You don't have to lie to me."
So
You
Rami's a
know? Oh, he's this big old snitch. Yeah. Yes. Big time. And I tell him, like, you need to stop snitching on your brother. But then at the same time, it's kind of okay when he tells me.
I think there's is there an episode of the Brady Bunch where like Cindy keeps snitching on everybody, and then they have to like talk about him about not being
I,
her not being a
I
snitch?
don't,
It's a weird
I
memory.
never watched it.
You ever watch
I don't
Brady
think
Bunch?
I know. And you know what? I almost watched like one episode today, but no.
Oh.
um,
So I think just real quick because I think the slides like they're a little bit because we weren't sure how to set it up, right?
yeah, it's our first time doing this.
Yeah,
We'll
it's our first
learn.
time. We'll yeah, we're learning.
Yeah.
So it was interesting that this came out free on Disney Plus.
Hmm.
The only thing that it would be going up against when it came out would be Batman, but the Batman is a very teenage plus older, right? Like I wouldn't
Hmm.
take like an 8 or 9 year old to go see Batman.
Hmm.
So this would have been the only family movie coming out, and instead
Hmm.
of putting it out, they just put it for free, and it's like you
Yeah.
didn't even give it a chance. Like you just
Well,
so
yeah, like I mean, they did. Encanto was they had that pass. What is it called? The Disney thing that you had to pay, and I think we paid for it. I think we did pay for to watch it. I'm not sure. Oh no, we waited as soon as it was free. I think we watched it. I don't remember.
but
And
they were
yeah,
it was in theaters for a little bit, right? Or no?
no, 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 no. It
Oh,
was
Kanto
just
had the
that
same
plus.
thing.
It was not in theaters. I don't
Oh,
think
three
it was in theaters.
dollars.
And but you had to pay that pass. What is it called?
It's
That
like early. It's like $30, so you get to see a
I don't know,
movie.
but you pay
Yeah.
kind of like the way we did with Mulan and the other movies.
Hmm.
You pay if you want to watch it. If not, you wait like 30 days or so, and then it's free. But first, and a lot of the Pixar movies they didn't do that. Like, didn't do Soul, didn't do this one and Luca. That's
I
another
love
one that
Luca.
oh
Yeah,
I
it was.
know they're so good.
Yeah.
But they did do it for the other Disney movies. It was only Disney that they did pay for it, and then they
Mm.
were like, "Hey, like they work. It's hard, and like what the hell? They didn't. They were upset for that. I can understand it, and I love the Pixar movies. Like, I mean, I love that. I really like Encanto and everything, but let's see.
I
I
love
got some
Soul.
close.
I've rewatched Soul a couple of times.
Yes, yes. You will be just in theaters. I think so. Oh yeah, that will be in theaters for sure. Yeah, it's a big movie for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, best since Wally watched Mickey. I love Wally. Wally, I went to the midnight showing to Wally. I still and I love it that Romy loves it too. It's one of my favorite movies too. I love Wally. Like I cried when I watched that for the first
it's so cute.
I love it. Um, so yeah, like it's kind of messed up. And did you know? Again, if you watch Turning Red, after watch that,
I think it's
uh,
Embrace the Panda.
yeah.
I think
Oh
we have a
well,
slide.
that's the next slide. Yeah, go ahead on that.
Oh, it is
The
the next slide.
yeah, it is.
Oh,
Embrace the Panda. There it is. If you watch it, watch this again. What I loved about this, and I was like, it's so amazing. Oh my God, Rob, are you kidding me? Get out.
you need to
Stop
see
watching.
Wally.
Stop watching and go watch Wally right now. I love it. And now you'll be like, oh my God, this is like 2022 right now. What the hell? We're all gonna end up like that. You need to watch it. But what I loved about watching Embrace the Panda, it's all a team of women putting all this together. They worked during the pandemic from home, and I just love that it's the first Pixar movie that it's put together by all a team of women,
Yeah, there
and
was
that
like
was
a
so
few
cool.
guys, but
Yeah,
like
there's
but
well,
the
it's a huge
leads, yeah, it's
team.
a
Yeah,
cast.
it's a
Yeah.
huge team, but the main people putting all this, like the two
Oh,
girls on top, they're like their idea, and they had worked together before. They did Pow the short. Hey, what's up? um, they did Pow, that short story.
yeah, that was really cute
Yes,
with
and
the dumpling.
yeah, the little dumpling, like they had worked together before. And I like how they show from their childhoods and stuff like that, like how they were and like how they came together with this idea. So you definitely have to watch this. I don't know why. Bow? Is it Bow or Pow?
It
It's a Pow.
the Lord's is right. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think yeah. Yeah, you're right. um and I like and I really I don't know, I enjoyed it and it kind of make me tear up a little bit. I liked it. What do you think?
Yeah, I was so I went from watching the movie right into watching this because it was the next thing you
Hmm.
can click on. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll watch this. And
Hmm.
it made me like the movie even more.
Hmm.
But someone was saying, without this, could you still, because you're talking about this so much, without it, could you just enjoy the film? Like, I did. But I'm just saying that like this just enhanced it more.
Hmm.
I didn't know about that, a female
Mm,
directed it and then all these things came together. Like I had no idea.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and the same. Yeah, like when I watched it, I again we loved it. And then when I watched, I was like, I text you, and I was like, oh my god, I love it even more. And not because it's a team of women putting it together. No, it like I said, there's like many people who worked on this, but I think it's the story behind it and everything. Let me see. I don't think people get the metaphor. Yeah, yeah,
It's a short. You guys definitely, if you
yes,
haven't seen it, go check
yes.
it out.
It's on Disney Plus, right?
Mhm.
Yes, yeah. Oh my god, oh my god, I want to think about that later in life. I might have to go through that. It would have been more enjoyable. Didn't
They
laugh.
laughed.
Okay.
That's
Huh.
I didn't get to see it in the theaters. I saw it. They had this whole thing where you just click on all the shorts, and I just started watching all of
Mhm.
them. That's how I discovered it. That's
Yeah.
so sad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't see it in theaters either. I think I watched it later. Oh, another thing that I know that I noticed that people didn't like, it's the animation. A lot of, because obviously a lot it's like anime influence,
Mm,
and then like the big eyes, or can't complain like, oh, they're big mouths and the big eyes and stuff like that. And it's
it's
like
a style. Like, what are
the
you
a
doing?
lot of the things that it is different. It's the first time that it kind of do that, a little bit of they add a little bit of the anime style to this, and I liked it. I guess because we watch anime, I didn't um I guess didn't focus so
Well,
much on that till somebody
well,
complained
especially like
about it.
2002. Like the 2002 was. I like that they kept talking about that in Embrace also, that they tried to pull like from this like couple years because so it's not supposed to be a modern like 2022. It's supposed to be
Hmm.
2002. And I think people
Hmm.
keep forgetting about that because then they're like, oh, what is that little? I'm like, the little, how do you say it?
Tamagotchi, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, we all had that. That was something we were all playing
I
with. Like,
didn't. I
you
always
didn't?
wanted one, but my mom never bought me one. No, she's like, you
Oh,
just
see,
kind of lose it or break it.
I had to get a paper route to make all the stuff that I wanted at a certain age. My dad's like, get a job. So I was 12 when I got a paper route to get a
Yeah.
Game Boy, and then I got one of those because,
See,
yeah.
yeah. See, that's, I mean, I don't
Hmm.
understand that. Like, you need to prepare your child for that. Again, my boys watched it, and I don't think they. I mean, obviously, Romy, like, he's been watching it every day. My husband's been playing the song, playing the song. You're always on my mind. Okay, I love the song. Uh, and I don't think they realize that unless uh, um which I
Well,
think
there was
I should tell them to be so they can be considerate of a woman, because they're gonna have a woman in their, maybe, I don't know, maybe they might have a woman in their life in the future, who knows. And they need to be understanding about that. But it's like I said, my niece, she was in third grade, like, and it came a little early for her. And I mean, I think it's either a way to kind of like prepare them,
yeah.
or I saw a lot of comments. I did see a lot that they were like, "Oh, it's too mature," and it's like,
But they didn't
I
show
mean,
anything besides the pads, which were only there to
yes,
show how embarrassing like
yeah,
that scene was. Because like without that scene,
yeah,
she's just there. It would have been embarrassing, but it wouldn't be as embarrassing as like, hey, I got your, and everyone's just like,
yeah, right, like overbearing, yeah. I mean, parents, something, yeah, yeah, like it. Yes, it's always like for like it hits the adults and the parents always. A parent hates being told how to raise their own kid.
but they weren't
Yeah.
really telling you how to.
No.
It was just this is just how one parent like you
Mhm.
kind of because you don't really see a ton of other parents in it. You see the bully's parents at one point, and you see like some adults in the background, like teachers and stuff. But
Yeah.
like, it's really about her mom and dad, right? And then they
Mhm.
have a lot of really good scenes, especially towards the end, right?
Mhm.
Because much. What do you know what the next slide is or no? How
Hold
do you
on.
see the
I'll
next
tell you.
slide?
I'll see you. Oh, because I have it open on the other side.
Oh,
I have the girls that they worked on it. You can go ahead and go to the next one. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
oh. So yeah, this is
Yeah.
just yeah, the people who worked on it. It just I think for people who didn't like it,
Well, we can go to the next one because they're together, right?
oh yeah, because this is the
The
mom and
overbearing.
the
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah, like, like I said, when like how many times like you parented and embarrassed? Like we kind of talked about this a little bit. Like I think all parents think, let me see.
So the Lords is saying, I think all parents think Pixar is rated G, Disney films, but when you see Up, because yeah, that was Up, you're dealing with some
Ah,
real life stuff, and I'm a grown ass man. I will probably want to see Up, dude.
yeah,
Up. If anyone
dude.
can get through the opening of Up with just being like
I
stone faced, something's
freaking
wrong because there was no words, but you saw a whole life.
I mean, and that's pretty adult thing to deal with. He's going, he falls in love, and then he's going through the love of his life, and everything, like losing somebody. And it's like,
Well,
I guess
even the saving. Remember the saving up? Like, hey, they want to go do this thing, and then like life happens, and then they want to go do this thing,
mhm.
life happens, and then like
Yeah.
they finally get to go, and then she died. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's like, again, like the mom being like embarrassing, and we all been through that. We all, uh, uh, we had that in one way or another. It might not have been like bad, I think just hearing the song makes me, yeah. And it again, I w- unless you have those, like, okay, like Laura was saying that Ellie thought that it was very cringy, and she didn't, she
But
didn't
that's
like
what
it.
teenage
But
life is.
then that's kind of,
It's cringy.
like she's kind of still kind of going through it, like she's in that age. And I could see why she thinks it was like that. And obviously we're gonna see it in a different perspective than her. And hey, her points are like, her the way she thinks is obviously value. Like we value it, and we accept it. That's how she feels, and that's okay. But then I feel like for some parents to think that it's like, oh, it's too mature for some kids, it's kind of like, no, I don't know. Let me see. They said I have not seen Up. I heard about. You have to watch it. It's such a good movie. And I'm more like the dog when I get distracted. Like, squirrel.
Doug, did
That's
you watch the
me.
shorts of it after the shorts?
I haven't yet. I need to.
Doug days. That's good.
You see, I mean, like, yeah, we were talking earlier, like, oh, like my mom, like the relationship, it's kind of like, yeah. Oh, that's what I said, that she did that to me. But I was like 19. Yeah, I was old. Yeah.
I still like. there's definitely still, because we're adults,
Yeah.
right? But around our
Yeah.
parents, there's still moments where I feel like
Yeah.
a kid. Like sometimes, it's interesting because even as a kid too, like your parents, like I know people get like upset. I'm like, but when you're born and I think around 10 or 12, I think
Hmm.
that's like the next step. Your parents go from being like God, right? Because it's what they say goes. At least
Yeah.
that's what, like if you don't eat your food, you're gonna go to bed
Yeah.
hungry, right? But I
Yeah.
feel like kids today don't have that. Like it was weird to go over to someone's house and then like asking the kid what they wanted,
Yeah.
and they want a couple different things, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You get to
Yeah.
pick what you want to eat. Like
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
pork chops, we had to eat pork chops, huh?
Yeah. That's true. I, yeah. You see, Oh yeah, yeah. You
Ooh.
needed to be slapped. I would have slapped you too. I just, what I also, okay, not so much, because we're almost at the end of it. I don't. What I liked about the end of it, that her mom realized, when they go
I think,
back,
is that a oops,
yeah,
oops. That was okay. I thought
yeah,
there was I thought there's a slide, or oh no, I think I showed that to you. The
yeah.
picture of the mom, the walking.
Yes, you sent it
Okay.
to me only, but when she's walking and then it's like you could see like she went through the same thing. So now she's doing what her mom did to her in the way, and she cares about her daughter. She loves her daughter and she wants the best for her daughter. She's not a bad mom for being so overprotective,
Yeah.
it and we do that. We are parents, we're afraid. We're trying to put our kids in a bubble and we want them to be perfect, and sometimes, yeah, we make mistakes. We're gonna make mistakes. And the mom realized that she was doing the same thing her mom did, and even the dad said it, like he kind of mentioned it, that it's like, well, you
Oh,
have the
we
same
called it
definition.
generational trauma, right?
Yeah.
When it goes from like the grandparents, the parents, the kid.
Yep.
And I mean, the way that they kind of did a really good job in the beginning, kind of telling about the ancestor, about how she loved like the red panda and how it was supposed to be like good luck.
You can go for now. Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that like you're like, oh, like even at my job, because there's
You need to watch.
a lot of different families, but we were talking about like the flip flop or just getting slapped, and one of our coworkers was like, like what? And we're like, wait, you didn't
You
get
didn't have that?
what at all? Like no. And like, oh well, they're the youngest. Oh, okay.
The oldest, we got that for sure. Okay, so let's go to the next
Oh,
one now for sure. Look at you. Well, me, I'm on the right. That was around 15, around that
the
age,
teen, the
14,
teenage.
15. Yeah, and then you see the other one in the top in the middle. That's making that weird face. I remember I was telling you I will make weird faces.
Hmm.
And I was missing some teeth. I think I was missing only one. And that I did that on purpose. So like, and I was around. I don't remember if it was
You said
10,
you said 13,
9,
14. No.
13. No, on that one, I think it was like 11, 12,
Oh,
13, something like that. I can't remember. And then, well, the other one's 14 and 15, the one on the right, like 14, 15. Yeah, the difference. And you, how old were you in that?
so 95, I was in fifth grade, so 12, I was 11 or 12. I was a really tall kid. Uh, uh, and then, so the reason why I'm reacting that way on that ride is because I was talking to my brother who's in the middle, and he was watching the controller, and I was unaware when it was going to start, and it just started. And when it started, it was really fast. Like you can see my sister's face of like bracing for it.
Yeah.
But since he knew it was going to happen, he's all happy. And for me, I got like caught off guard because I remember like going back and having to grab onto that pole. So
That's hilarious. That's funny. Yeah.
yes,
Oh, look at us. They're so cute.
so
Oh,
I was definitely not like watching this turning red. I was like, oh yeah, like I definitely wasn't a cool kid. And it was okay. Like
I
I
was just a crazy kid.
I was trying to find I have a picture like where I have like an X-Men hat on, or I used to wear a Spider-Man necklace, and I was just a teenager. And I
Mhm.
remember being very vocal about liking comic books and people being like making fun of
Nerd.
me. But like, yeah. But much like the main character, it's like, well, I like what I like. Like it's not
Mhm.
gonna change.
So she was so confident. I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Eh, and that's us at that age. We all been through that age. And we you cannot skip it. And we most of us we went through that, that we knew better, and we did little things behind our parents back, and tried, and we want what we want because we will think that we're gonna die without it. And like, how many times did you felt that it's like, if I don't have it, I don't know if I'm gonna live. I'm gonna die if I don't have it. I mean, how many times did that happen? For me, it was many times.
I think the only I didn't do a ton of bad things. I did try. I wanted to go see a movie. Oh yeah, I did do that. Okay, so uh,
There you go.
I wanted to see a Very Brady sequel,
Uh-huh.
and no one wanted to see it. None of my friends did. My dad didn't want to take me, and I was like, so I went to my room and I jumped out the window to where I left my bike, and I biked like 5 or 6 miles to the nearest theater. And then I got there and I didn't have because we're in the suburbs, I didn't have a bike lock. Like you didn't have that when I was a kid. So I had to ask the people in the concession stands to watch my bike. I watched the movie, I laughed by myself, I bike back, but I couldn't
Mhm.
jump into my window. Like I didn't think about getting back in. So I had to like balance on my seat, and I still couldn't I couldn't get because I have really skinny arms. So I couldn't quite get over. So I had to go through the front door and I got in trouble.
That's funny. Oh man, that's
But
great.
then he was like,
That's
"You biked 5 miles to watch a Very Brady sequel?" And I was
that's hilarious.
like,
Oh my
"Oh,
gosh.
oops."
What happened? No, yeah, I didn't.
No. So,
Okay. So I think any ending.
oh, if you didn't like it, give it a second chance. Try to change your perspective. You don't have to be. What's the word? When you because the people. Okay, so I'm just saying this. The people who didn't like it, try to see it with a different perspective, a different lens, whatever you want to, and give it a second shot. Definitely watch Embrace the Red if you like, regardless. And I think it'll also help you get into that mind frame to do another watch. And
Mhm.
like, look, we still do awkward, cringy stuff now, and then it takes us to be the next day to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like,
Yeah, at the end of
until
the
you're out of
night,
it.
you're like thinking, it's like, why? Yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. Okay, so well, if you guys, so thank you guys for watching us today. We went a little bit longer than we wanted. We're like, we're gonna keep it short.
Well,
We both talk a lot. I
this is
talk a
our first
lot.
time doing a review, being
Yes.
the slide pusher.
Yes, controlling the slides, the comments. I think we did okay, Jen. You see? You
See,
see?
good. Yeah.
You see? You don't have to be a girl to understand this. It's awesome.
Wars of the
Yeah.
Long Box has a very good
Yeah.
taste in movies.
Yeah. You see, that's still, yeah, there's like obviously, like some things that, I mean, obviously, but yeah. Oh,
And I
lunch
know
hour.
we really been wanting to do Encanto, which
Santa will be
is
next.
next.
We'll have to do it. Yeah, we'll be better. We know what we're doing now, so we'll be better.
Yeah, yeah.
And make sure you guys are following us. I mean, I know you guys are following us already. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. And even though you were here on the live, leave us a comment later because that will help us too.
Well,
Um,
either rewatch it or watch
we'll come
Embrace
back.
the Panda, and then let us know what you think of
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Yes. And tonight we have a show. We have oh, we have, I need to post that. I haven't posted about it. We haven't
Drew
scheduled
Drew
it.
Sucker?
Drew. Yeah, we have Drew Sucker.
Encanto?
Encanto. He has some new stuff, fun new stuff coming up. So we'll be on tonight again. You guys will get to see us tonight again. Yeah. uh that's funny. That's funny.
Anchorman's such a good movie. It's such a good movie.
Yeah. But let's see. I might try to do this, the ending intro and then end it, okay?
Oh.
We'll see you guys tonight. I'm gonna try this.